All right, we're live. The screen looks a little different than it did when I first turned this camera on. Kind of a white haze here. I don't know what's up with that. All right, let me get a little coffee in, get my radio voice going. All right, I thought I would chat with you. List. Why are you without a shirt, teacher? This is unrespectful and disgusting. You know what, Sarah? You can just go away. All right. You're not allowed to post in my stream. You can't be that way. Like, I live in Texas. It is extremely hot even with my air conditioner on. And if I want to not have a shirt, that is my business. Okay. So, she can go away. Now, back to our topic. Do you think 5x5 on weighted pull-ups is okay? I'm not a big fan of low rep pull-ups. Too many injuries. Right? I don't like to see a lot of low rep pull-ups. Again, unless your weighted pull-ups are sets of 10. Now, if you can crank out 3 sets of 10 with weights, then you can do them weighted. And keep in mind, that's a change in my old position. I used to be big on maxing out on weighted pull-ups. Like you guys used to see me doing with 100 pounds and stuff on camera. But I think generally, if you're going to do movements like pull-ups, they should be done for body weight till you can knock out like sets of 15 reps. You know, in which case then you can start adding weight. Yeah, I've had this cup forever. I used to do coffee chats all the time, sitting down on my channel. I've had this cup like 8 years. It's my primary coffee cup. And the funny thing is, it's just because it's really big. And you know, when I drink coffee, I like to drink a lot. I want to do like my pot in 2 big cups, so I have 2 big cups in the morning. All right. Yeah, it is, and I don't even remember where I got it. I can't even remember. I think one of my exes bought it for me. I could be wrong. Who knows? And when I mentioned that, I hurt a disc, and I don't even know if I want to call it a slip disc. It was a disc injury in my, in early teens. So I think I was like 14. I don't know. It was helping my dad and them re-roof the house. I set a pack of shingles that I carried up a ladder. I set it down at a bad angle at the top of the roof, and my back just kind of popped. I went to a chiropractor, and he just popped it all back into place until it stayed. But again, keep in mind, and a lot of evidence-based practitioners do not like chiros, so I'm always reluctant to discuss that much. I've had decent luck with them personally. I haven't seen one in quite a while. The last time I saw one was when I was competing in the UK, going into my meets there, particularly going into nationals that year. I did have a chiro make sure everything was lined up about 4 or 5 times, to just come in and kind of double check everything. But he's like, I did one adjustment and everything stayed. You're good. So he's like, I love you, but I can't make any money off of you because everything stays in place perfectly as soon as I pop it in. But I want to say that was about 9 years ago. Was the last time I saw one. But again, I was getting ready for national championship and was going to have a lot of weight loaded on my spine. All right. And as a lot of you can tell, I'm 46. I'm 46 years old, and I deadlift 625. Pretty decent for an old man. Compete at the world level. 46. Tomorrow they weren't for me because it seemed like once I got an adjustment, it stays for years. It doesn't pop back out. But I have a lot of support musculature in my back. So yeah. All right. We have any other questions? Anything else going on you people want to chat about? The problem is, though, I am always careful to take clients who are under 25 who are male, because no offense, but you guys tend to not be the best clients. And it's due to ego, it's due to inconsistency. It's oftentimes due to not being able to afford my services long term. You know, because to be one of my clients for a year is going to cost you thousands of dollars. I charge $300 a month, and that's just online. That's my online coaching. So you factor that in. Can you afford that for a year? That's $3,600 US dollars a year to be one of my clients. And I run about 25 clients at a time. Sometimes a little more. Depends on what my time looks like. Which you guys see a lot of the clients. You see their vlogs and their posts and their videos and their reels. I do those here. I have about usually 7 to 8 clients who vlog at any given time. It's de-emphasized. Pain, you're going to have a problem. Is a proper RPT training? Absolutely not. For a novice, better than this? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. In fact, I would say it's garbage. You've been listening to too much Ken O'Booty, who is a marketing clown. I'm sorry, I need to behave. I need to quit doing that. No, do straight sets. You'll be fine. I told you guys that years ago that every client I'd ever had who had followed his programming, who came to me, had no work capacity and they were weak. That's what that training produces. It produces people who are weak as hell, who are out of shape. Because they're not doing the same drugs he's doing. Can you give me a recommendation on how to schedule my training? Because I don't do body part splits, Kyle. I don't recommend those at all. 4-day upper lower. Monday upper body, Tuesday lower body, Thursday upper body, Friday lower body. Done. There's your schedule. I have guys who deadlift 700 pounds who train that way. I train that way. All right. So most of our viewers have trickled out. Been running this 15 minutes. I felt like this was a successful live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and